Okay, we'll make a start, and if people can't hear me, then let Eric know through the chat, and we'll see how far we get. So my name is Rick, and welcome to our second Road Rally. This is the Novice webinar, so if you've never done this before, and about half of you in this event have not, there's about 70 cars entered in this event, um, then this is for you. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to post them in the chat window. If you don't want to post them in the chat window, please email me, ricksenior@gmail.com, and with any question at all, we'll try our best to help you. So today we're going to cover road rally safety, what to do before the event, and on the day of the event. We're also going to cover some feedback that we got from our last event about what will help. We're going to go through example instructions, time allowances, which is sort of heading into more of an advanced topic, scoring, and then we'll close. Hopefully this whole thing will take about a little over 30, 40 minutes, and then we'll be done. Okay, so first of all, welcome. So what is Road Rally? So it's a scenic drive with a purpose. So a chance to enjoy the day with a friend, and it's really very cheap. It's also quite intense. And I did this, I've not done a lot of road rallying. I did it for the first time with somebody else whilst we were doing the practice runs. And it really is quite tricky. There's a lot of stuff going on in the car. The format that we're using is called time, speed, distance, a Monte Carlo format. You don't really need to understand too much about what that means. When you take a look at the instructions, it should become clear about how these events run. And we've chosen this format because it's relatively simple for newbies to work with just the odometer in the car and a regular clock. So the emphasis is about staying on time, arriving at each checkpoint at exactly the right time. The route instructions give you the directions along the road, and the idea is it's meant to be fun to drive. And this second road rally that we've done, there's some really interesting roads that I've not been down before in San Diego. And we give the mileage for each route instruction. So that will become clear soon. Okay, okay, we'll go on next slide. So safety. So as always, safety first. You do need both a navigator and driver. It's not possible to do this with just one person safely. There's too much going on. We expect you to keep to road legal speeds, and if you do get delayed or stopped, you can take a TA, which is a time allowance, and we'll go through those later. We also have COVID, which is why we're here now doing it online, and we have some COVID procedures. Please read them. We'll go over this later, but when you arrive at the event, you'll arrive, we'd like you to arrive about 10 minutes before your start time. You'll receive your start time later. We don't really want to create a gathering of any kind. Please wear a mask or a face covering when you're at the event or at any of the rest points. And just be COVID aware, please. Okay, the schedule of events. So this is the process that we're going through at the moment. This is what you've done and what to expect. So you've registered already both the navigator and driver in a MSR. Almost everyone has completed a speed waiver for both the navigator and driver. And thank you very much for doing those. I think there's one person outstanding at the moment. And then you've all should have received an email with your car number. Everybody should have received an email with the car number. So you need to work out with your driver and navigator. One of you needs to download the competitor application, and this is what it's called. If you search in Google Play or the Apple iStore, you want to download this application onto your phone and register using the number in the email. The password is in the instructions. It's GUAC, G-U-A-C. And then when you log into the app, you have to enter your own email and your own password. There's instructions attached to the email, so if you just follow them through step by step, it should guide you. If you have any questions, please let me know. So Sunday, which is tomorrow, everybody will receive event directions. And that's everybody who's completed all of these steps. And we'll go over these in a few seconds in more detail. So once you've got the event directions, you need to print them. If you don't get the event directions tomorrow, please email me and we'll work out what's missing and we'll get you going. Yeah, so you need to print out the event directions. You have all week, and that's why we send them out a week early. Please don't run the event. If you do run the event, that will sort of disqualify you from the times that we collect. So next Friday at 7 p.m., we're going to have an online drivers meeting where we'll go over the event directions and give any hints and tips. And then on Saturday, if you could arrive 10 minutes before your allocated start time, and we'll go over what we mean by that on a couple of slides ahead. Okay, so the day of the event. So before you leave the house, make sure your phone is charged. You probably want to bring along a charging cable too. You're going to be running this application on the phone for about 2.5 hours, and it does discharge the battery. If you're using an older phone, my phone is probably only a year old or so, and it will go down from 100% down to 30%. So if you've got to bring along a spare battery pack, it would really help. If you print out the rally instructions and attach them to a clipboard, it will help. You need a full tank of gas or a full charge, and bathroom, because there are a couple of bathroom stops along the way, but once you get going, you're following a route. So arrive at the start location 10 minutes before your assigned time. There's no on-site registration. So if people have not registered, then we don't accept any new registrations at the site. And this is for COVID, which we're just trying to minimize the number of interactions that we have. So once you arrive at the start, you drive through a specific start location, and your phone will detect the first checkpoint, checkpoint 1, we'll call it the test checkpoint, and it will beep. And if it doesn't, then we will have people on hand to help you. And so you're going to return to the start, and we'll go over what to do there on next Friday if your phone doesn't beep. If you have a problem, email me. Even during the day of the event, if you have a problem, just email me. And if your phone rings, I'm not sure you can see this bit down here, but if your phone rings during the event and you feel like you're lost, then answer your phone, because it's probably me telling you how to get back on track. And so the sooner you get back on track, the easier it'll be for everybody. Okay, so this is feedback that we got from our survey last time. So the phone records times as you go past checkpoints. If it doesn't record a checkpoint, you don't get a score for that checkpoint. But if you can manually record the time that you went past that checkpoint by reading it off the phone and send it to us, that will help. This shouldn't normally happen, and if you do the second point, keep your phone on the dash, you'll get better GPS accuracy. We should get a much better result. I think there was a couple of people where they said checkpoints were not detected along the route, out of about 50, 60 people last time. So one big thing is the navigator and driver work out who gets motion sickness. The navigator is going to be looking down to instructions, and If motion sickness is a concern for somebody, then you might want to switch and make that person the driver. If you get lost or you feel like you're lost, then email me. I'll be monitoring my email during the event, and just send me your card number and phone number, and I'll um, contact you as soon as possible. So the odometer, your odometer might be off slightly compared to our test cards. We've put a lot of work into making sure that we're pretty accurate actually this time on the mileages, but your odometer could still be off. And so the first run that we do, the first leg, is actually an odometer check. There's no points for it. You'll need to work out how much your odometer is off by and correct for that during the event. That's part of the challenge. So somebody was asking, after, are we going to start doing after rally awards with lunch and dinner? Absolutely. Post-COVID, that's the plan. Typically, a road rally will finish at a place where you can have lunch or dinner and you get to meet everybody. We can't do that at the moment, obviously. So, but as soon as, hopefully, by the middle to the end of next year, we'll start reintroducing that. And we'll all get to meet in person. The other thing is that as you approach checkpoints, you'll see the more advanced drivers, they'll arrive at a checkpoint early and then wait and pull over at the side of the road. And in fact, all the checkpoints have a place where you can wait before the checkpoint. And so it is allowed, and it is typical for cars to arrive at a checkpoint slightly early, pull over, and then pull out just in time. You have to be careful, cars coming up behind you, but that is a typical way that road rallies work. Okay, hold on. Other feedback we got was, so please wear your masks at the restart points. I think there's two places where we stop along the route. There's bathrooms there. If you could wear your mask there, that would help make everybody feel more comfortable. And then in the initial scores that we send out, multiple drivers will have zeros for their scores. We'll go over scoring in a minute, but basically for each checkpoint that you hit, the lower your score, the better. So you want to get your arrive exactly on time. If you arrive exactly on time, you get a score of 0. If you arrive 1 second early or late, you get a score of 1. Initially, the initial scores might show that multiple people have zeros, and that just means that they didn't get a time for that checkpoint. We'll go fix those, and they will get updated to 60 if they didn't have a time for that checkpoint. So, okay, so this was competitive feedback. Next slide. So example route instructions. So these are the route instructions that you're going to get. They're going to be about 5 or 6 pages. And I've started halfway through here. So you've got a route instruction, numbered route instruction, mileage, and then an action. And so this is where 7.33 miles from the previous start, you need to turn right. And we've included a handy picture here for this checkpoint or this NRI. So there's a stop sign and there's a turn right sign here to help people navigate around the route. There's no checkpoint here, so there's no check on time, and so there's no key time. Same for these 2 checkpoints. They're just navigating you around the route, telling you to turn left on a street name, or keep left on another street name. This is not Google Maps. It's more about, there's a lot of visual clues. We put a lot of work into making these sort of naturally flow around as you're going down the course. Now here is where it gets more interesting, because at this point, checkpoint 18, at 8.65 miles into this leg, we're reaching a restart point. What that means is we're going to stop here and restart. So we stop. When we stop, you're at 8.65 miles. We restart, you reset your odometer back to 0, and you start a new leg. And the reason for that is that the odometers that we're using in all our cars, and since we don't have rally computers, um, they lose, you end up with a bigger and bigger error as you proceed through the event. And so we reset them, we try to reset them every 10 or 20 miles. And so this is where we're resetting them back to 0. So in this particular checkpoint, you're turning into a county park, you're zeroing your odometer, you have about 15 minutes here to go to the bathroom, and then it says restart at 9:49. And that's what this time here is. It's a key time telling you to restart at 9:49. So you should have arrived about 15 minutes before this time.
Hey, Rick, there's a couple questions coming in regarding this. I want to clarify a few things real quick. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are some people that are having audio problems. I do want to clarify the fact is there may be some people who are having individual issues. We do apologize. We try to work all these out in advance from a technical point of view. Um, we will be resending this out as a video so you can watch it again. And obviously, we'll send the slide deck along with it. That may not answer all of your questions, of course. If that's the case, please just email us back and we'll go ahead and clarify any points that we need to. As far as the slides that have gone through, Rick asked, what is an NRI? You want to cover that?
Yeah, so numbered route instruction. So they start at 1 and go all the way through to the end. So each route instruction is numbered so that if you have a problem with an instruction, you say NRI.
Perfect. And
You
then
give it.
Craig asked what car has the 100th on OD? Not exactly sure what the question was.
Yeah, so most cars won't have 100th on the odometer. We've included it this time, but this will give you an indication. Like, so here, we wanted to give people an indication that your odometer is about to go to 8.6 at this checkpoint. Yeah, most cars only have a 10th. They don't go down to 100ths. But we've included this because when we were doing the event, we actually had a rally computer and GPS logs GPS odometers that do go down to 100th. And you are welcome to use a GPS odometer. There are applications on phones that will, GPS applications that will give you your 100th resolution. You're welcome to use them. If it's your first time doing this, you might want to practice doing that. But people can get to 100th resolution in their cars. Okay, any more questions, Eric?
Nope, that looks like it. There's obviously some other people. Actually, wait, maybe one just came in. In the example, the NRI number 18 is a checkpoint, quote unquote. It's a question.
Yes, so it is a checkpoint. And what that means is it will, the application which you bring on your phone will go beep, beep, beep when you arrive at that checkpoint. But starts and restarts are special in that they don't really count towards your score. So it doesn't really matter if you arrive early or if you leave a little early or late from this checkpoint. It's a restart. They don't count towards scoring. The next checkpoint, which hopefully you can see at the bottom of the screen, that's the first checkpoint of this leg, and that's where the timing and scoring does kick in. So for starts and restarts, they don't count towards timing and scoring. The other thing about this is not everybody is going to leave at 9:49 a.m. It wouldn't work. So what you do is you take your car number and add it to this time. You actually add it to every time in minutes. So if you're car number 1, then you'll start at 9. You'll start from this point here at 9:50 a.m. Yeah, so you have to do the mental arithmetic in your head, and this is where it starts to get challenging because you might want to. You'll know your car number, and you'll have these instructions before you arrive at the event. So you do have a chance to correct all the times before you leave. And that is one advantage of us sending you these instructions a week ahead of time. In a normal road rally, you get them 10 minutes before the event, but we're making accommodations here because of COVID to allow people to print these instructions out. a week ahead of time. But that's not the way the road rally would normally run, and I think hopefully towards the end of the year we'll be handing out these instructions at the on the morning of the event. So just to go over that again, if your car number is say 10, you'll take your car number, you'll add that 10 in minutes this time, so your actual time that you'd be expected to arrive at, sorry, depart from this point is 9:59 a.m. Okay, any more questions?
Nope, that looks like it so far. Thanks, Rick.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is Richer. So the or the competitor app, we call it Richer. It's that's its generic name. So you've all received the instructions on how to install this on your phone. So if you could please go ahead and do that as soon as you can, that'd be great. In fact, until it's installed on the phone, you won't get the route instructions. So, and the reason for that is that we want to make sure that everybody has a phone, they've installed it, and they get a GPS fix. So up here, there'll be your car number. You want to check that so when you install the application, your clock should be running, and that's fine. It'll tell you the current time. And you should see a valid GPS accuracy here. And this is really important. If you don't see a valid GPS accuracy and you've tried stepping outside and waiting for a few minutes, then the thing that normally fixes it is uninstalling and reinstalling the app, paying close attention to any requests for location permissions as you're installing it. On the instructions, it does say to, where you'll be prompted to give this application location permissions. You only need to give it permissions whilst it's running, not all the time. But we do need that initial fix. The problem we're trying to fix is if we don't do this, a bunch of people will show up at the start, and we have to go fixing their phones, and that means interacting with people, and it takes time. And really, if you at the last event, we managed to get almost everybody. Everybody's phone was working at the start, and so this would be really good to do again. So the application itself, so you've got your clock, you've got your accuracy, you've got your score up here. TAs will go over in a minute, and then you've got some completed checkpoints here. So you can see checkpoint 1, that was a restart. Checkpoint 2, another restart, so there's no score. Here, this is where we're doing the odometer check between the first and the second checkpoint. And then the rally started for real. And so you can see that the in time here is recorded and the score telling you how early or late you are. So here we were 3 minutes off, 1 minute off, 1 second off, so we got a score of 1. And it's telling you if you're late or early. So I'm going to play a short video. Hopefully this will come through okay, but what it's showing is when you arrive at the start for checkpoint number 1, your phone should go make a loud noise. And we'll play this now. And hopefully it will come through. Okay, it came through for me. I'm not sure if you guys heard it. Did you hear anything, Eric? Or
No, I don't think that came through.
okay, what I'll do is I'll send out the link, but your phone will go. Let me put this on full screen again. Okay, I'll rewind this a little bit. So I'll send out a link to the video, but you can see there's no checkpoint detected here, and now it's detected. So it says number 1 was detected, and it beeps. It goes like beep beep beep, and then you carry on. I'll send out a link to the video so everybody can play it, so they get a rough idea about what's going on. And we'll have one of these at the start. Like I said, the start times don't count, so we've got some time to burn at the start if your phone doesn't work. But ideally, if you make sure you've got a good GPS accuracy before we start the event, everything should be good. You shouldn't see a problem. Okay. Let me take a look at the next slide. Okay. Okay, so time allowances. Okay, so this is a slightly advanced topic. If this is your first row rally and you're not too worried about scoring, you don't need to worry too much about time allowances. If, as we start to get more competitive, time allowances come in, and the reason for time allowances is they allow you to accommodate for an event happening on the course. So let's say you arrive at a red light and or there's a slow car um, ahead of you, or there's an accident or some fire truck, and you have to wait for 2 minutes. That would impact your time around the course. And so TAs allow you to add a time allowance for the current leg that you're on and to apply to all subsequent legs. So let's say you get delayed for 10 minutes. I'm, here I am, I'm on just completed checkpoint 8. I'm heading towards checkpoint 9. I got delayed behind a fire truck for, I'm going to estimate 2 minutes. So you hit the TA button until it says 2 minutes. And as soon as you arrive at the next checkpoint, that time allowance will be taken and applied to all subsequent checkpoints. Um, like I said, this is a more advanced topic. So as people get more competitive on the scoring side, this is something that you need to worry about, and it's designed to accommodate delays along the route. And so, because we don't want people speeding, so this is the solution. Okay, so scoring, yeah, so no speeding. You shouldn't need to speed. All the times between checkpoints are within the legal speed limit. We're timed to the second for each checkpoint, 60 points per checkpoint. So if you're a minute, you're beyond a minute late or a minute early, you'll still only get a 60-point penalty. And it's one point for each second early or late, and the overall lowest score in each class is the winner. So just to close, and we're at 30 minutes, it's all about having fun. So please keep speeds reasonable and safe for the roads in the area. Use the time allowance process if you want to be more competitive, or if you just want to take a drive, just follow the route and see what your score is. Safety is always the most important thing. It's a rally, not a race. So this is not, we're not expecting you to be speeding anywhere. And what's next? So you should have received that email with your car number. If you've not, email me. And then tomorrow I'll email out the event directions to everyone who's done both a speed waiver and registered. And then I'll send out an email saying I've done this. And if you've not received that email with the event directions, then email me and we'll work out why. And the most likely thing is registering and richer with GPS. Okay, do we have any more questions, Eric? Or
Rick, the only question that I think we probably should go over is the difference between a tablet and a cellular device. Some people were asking if you could use a tablet instead of a phone. I think you need to obviously discuss, the reasons why we need to use an actual device with internet connectivity and GPS connectivity.
yeah, so it's much more preferable to use a device with an internet connection, so a phone, because we'll be able to see you as you're driving around the course. If you get lost, I can see that you've got lost, and I can call you up and give you directions. Now, technically, you don't need to. The application, you can download it on your phone, on your tablet, using Wi-Fi. Um, you can drive the course. It will record the times, and when you get back home, you can connect it back to Wi-Fi, and it will upload the data. But yeah, we won't see you running the event, and if you have a problem, we can't help you. So I think also putting a tablet on your dash might be more tricky, whereas putting a phone on your dash is going to be a little easier.
Yeah.
Okay, any
Also,
more
I
questions?
don't know, Rick, if we were going to decide to do the live scoring like we did last time. Some people really enjoyed that. If your phone isn't connected, then obviously the live scoring will be a little different. So if several people aren't using an internet capable device while they're on course, clearly the preliminary results will be skewed until those people connect to the internet and upload their results.
Yeah. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Any more questions, or are we good to go?
No, I think we're pretty good. I think we can answer the rest of the questions currently in text.
Okay, sounds good. So like I said, email me if you have any questions. I will send out a link to this video within the next hour or so. Yeah, please um, let us know if you have any questions. And then we've got the drivers meeting next Friday at 7 p.m. And I think we're good to go.
All right.
Anything else?
We just want to clarify one point. I know that some of the COVID restrictions that have been imposed currently have been very dynamic. They've been changing almost on a weekly basis. And clearly, we want to meet any guidelines the state's putting out or the local agencies are putting out. We're making sure that we're meeting all the requirements to do such, to cater those restrictions. We'll be sending out a separate email just to cover that. Um, as it stands, I don't think we are violating any of the current restrictions that have come out. Even the ones that are supposed to be imposed on Monday, I think we're still good for. But again, we'll be sending out a separate email, obviously, over the next couple of days to clarify if there's anything that we're really worried about.
Okay, thanks,
Um,
Eric.
some people did someone did ask if they could use a calculator on the event. Yes, definitely. You can use whatever calculators you have, even if it's a person or an actual electronic device. Otherwise, again, I do really want to apologize. Some people did have, I would say about 25% of the people here are having technical difficulties with sound. Again, that wasn't, we tested this pretty thoroughly. Everything seemed to be working, but we do understand it happens. I do promise that we will send out this recording again with sound, and as a separate, we'll send out the slide deck so you can see each slide. And if you have any issues, please reach out to us. We will definitely help clarify anything and make things any more clear that we can. We do appreciate your guys' time today. Again, we really do apologize for the technical difficulties. And unless there's anything else, I think we're all set here, Rick, right?
I think so. Okay, thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, good night.